Hello, I'm Alan French. I'm with FandomWire. Thank you so much for talking to me about Deli Boys, Andrew.
Hey, Alan,
Um,
thanks for having me.
yeah, it's not an obvious project on its face in your career. What got you into contact with the team for Deli Boys at first?
Well, Jenny Connor, who's one of the executive producers, I worked with Jenny on Girls and with Welcome to
Hmm.
Chippendales. And so I basically have blackmailed her into giving me jobs. And I had known about Deli Boys and I loved the first season. And then she asked me if I would be a part of the second season. And I was like, yeah, I would love that. I would love that. So Jenny and Michelle Nader, created this character for me, which was a lot of fun. And yeah, then I got to, travel off to Chicago and play with these folks.
Well, speaking of the character, what can we expect from Andrew Chadwater, which sounds like the funniest name that I could possibly
Doesn't it sound like a
think for you to
politician?
play? Yeah.
It's like a good politician name, right? Andrew Chadwater is an extremely ambitious DA, and he wants to be mayor. That's his goal. And so he sees the DARs as this opportunity to sort of use them as an example that will get him some votes and gain some confidence, to gain the city's confidence that he would be a good mayor. So he really tries to manipulate them into making him mayor. And then it turns out they manipulate him.
Well, that's good to hear. There's going to be some push and pull.
Oh
What
yeah,
was
there's a
it?
lot of
What was
push and
it?
pull.
What was it like working with the boys? Yeah, they're both so talented,
Well,
and
I gotta say we didn't, so many of the scripts I got to work with Fred Armisen, who's also new
yes.
this season, and which was so much fun, and I love Fred. And that was a real treat. But I didn't really get to work with the main cast until the very end, which I was like, where are the main people? I mean, I love Fred, but I was like, I want to work with them. So at the very end of the final episode, then we all got to spend a lot of time together, which was great. But everyone was so welcoming. It can be a little tricky jumping into something, that's already very well established and very successful, and jumping in as a new character can be, it was intimidating, honestly.
Yeah.
It was very intimidating, but they were also wonderful that yeah, it just took a lot of the fear and the pressure out of it. So they made me feel incredibly part of the cast, which was great.
Well, and you mentioned earlier, Girls is one of those great shows that you were on not too long ago, and then you've also had this incredible career on Broadway where you're constantly balancing like this earnest character with high concept like comedy across all of your different projects. How does Deli Boys challenge you as a performer to keep that balance, or does it challenge you in other ways?
Well, it really was. I felt as I started to read the scripts, and I think, at first we only got the first three, and
Hmm.
immediately I was like, oh, this is probably the thing that is most similar to Elder Price from the Book of Mormon that I played. That he's like this very earnest, very well-meaning guy who is trying to white knuckle some kind of success, and then just like he snaps and he sort of loses his way.
Hmm.
This is obviously, taken to the extreme, but
Hmm.
although the Book of Mormon was pretty extreme too, but I was like, oh, I think this is like a grown-up version of that guy I played 15 years ago. So it was fun to revisit that. And and just as like my own like actor bullshit, that's kind of what I had in my head of like, well, how would I do this if he was like now an adult and like things had gone differently for Elder Price? Like, what would that be like? So that was kind of as you can tell, I'm a very serious actor that I only look back at my own catalog for guidance.
Well, you do have like this really great TV catalog between voice acting and live action. Kind of what is different about your approach when it's a live action project versus something like Big Mouth or one of your other great projects?
Well, I mean, I started my career doing animation as like a kid. I did Saturday morning cartoons, and
Mhm.
that was kind of my into working professionally. So I love doing that. Obviously, the stuff that I did as a kid had nothing to do with what I did on Big Mouth. Big Mouth is filthy. In fact, I have 13-year-old twins, and they asked me recently if they should watch Big Mouth, and I was like, I don't think so because it's about,
Yeah.
being at that age. And I was like, maybe in some ways it would be helpful, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the best idea for them to watch Big Mouth. But
Well, thank you so much for your time, Andrew.
thank you very much.
Great fan of yours for a long time,
Oh,
and
thank
Deli
you.
Boys is awesome. So I'm excited to see you on it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, have a great rest of your day.